Oh my God. She said she was flying to Brazil to prove a point. But Brazil said, not here, no, no, no. And now she could be fighting up to 5 years in jail. Was this confidence or a serious miscalculation? This is about an Argentinian woman named Agostina Perez who recently got arrested in Brazil after confrontation at the restaurant. Augustina got into an argument with a restaurant employee. Instead of walking away and handling it like an adult, she started making racist monkey gestures and noises towards the worker. And here is where things took a turn she probably did not expect. Brazil does not treat racism as offensive behavior. It treats racism as a crime. Under Brazilian law, racist acts can lead to arrest, prosecution, and serious penalties. This isn't a social media cancellation situation. This is handcuffs. Authorities stepped in and they got her. Now let's pause for a second. This isn't about celebrating anyone getting arrested. We don't support bullying or harassment over here. But what this highlights is something very important. Different countries have different laws, and Brazil has zero tolerance when it comes to racial discrimination. Brazil has one of the largest black population outside of Africa, and racial issues there are deeply rooted in history and law. My name is Faith, and you're welcome back to Chat with Faith. If this is your first time here, I'm glad you found this channel. Please don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss a conversation. And as always, credit goes to the original creators for every single clip used in this episode. This video is for educational purpose and awareness. It's not meant to hate or discriminate against anyone. The goal is to discuss real challenges openly and respectfully. We've got more clips and conversation coming your way, so stay tuned. Let's chat.
Y'all, did you know you can get 5 years in prison in Brazil just for being racist? I didn't know. I just learned that today. I saw this story on my timeline and I decided to go down the rabbit hole. So this is Agostina Paez, and she is an Argentinian lawyer. See, what happened, she was arguing with some employees about a bill and decided to do this. Then this happened. And now she sounds like this.
Soy Agostina Páez, acusada de injuria racial en Brasil. En este momento recibo una notificación que hay una orden de prisión preventiva para mí por peligro de fuga, siendo que tengo una tobillera electrónica puesta y que estoy a disposición de la justicia desde el día 1. Se están vulnerando todos mis derechos. Estoy desesperada, estoy muerta de miedo y hago este video para que se haga eco de la situación que...
She has been released, but she has to wear an ankle monitor, and she must now wait for the Brazilian judiciary to set a date for her trial. She could be sentenced up to 5 years in jail if found guilty. Oh, was it worth it? Was it worth it? The case is at the center of a growing legal conversation that is making headlines in Argentina and Brazil. With some argue that jail time is too harsh a punishment for a racist offense, others have pointed out that it's the responsibility of Argentinian citizens abroad to know the law. In this case, Brazil's strict anti-racism legislation. The incident took place on January 14th, according to the complaint filed by the employees. She also used derogatory language, as well as the gestures that we just saw in the previous video. Under the Brazilian law, racism and racial insults are treated as serious criminal offenses. See, she's from Argentina, and the people in Argentina, boy, they could be motherfucking racist as hell. And they received no punishment. And then she decided to take her funky ass all the way to Brazil thinking she could do the same shit. Oops. Oops. Oh my God. Was calling the employees monkeys worth it? I don't think so. And she's a lawyer too. Fucking that. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. But I didn't know. I didn't know you can go to jail for 5 years in Brazil for that. Learn something new each day. Now imagine if they did that in this country. All them jail cells would be full.
Recently popped up on the media about this case of this tourist. She was racist in Brazil. I see some sources that she suffer harassment. If it's true and if it's happening, the correct situation is call the police, make a registration. You do not pay a crime with another crime, and racism in Brazil is crime. And she dead in a favela, and have some favela they are dangerous, and she don't know who she's dealing with. If it was someone that have some power and have this power, she has had the chance to lose her life. So do not commit racism in Brazil. It's a question of humanity. It's a question of values. You are a correct person, and beyond that, depends when you commit this. You have the chance of lose your life if you're dealing with someone that is a not good person.
Y'all, apparently Brazil does not play about racism and racial slurs. This lady right here, Agostina Paez from Argentina, went to Brazil and had a dispute about her bill and apparently started making monkey gestures and saying racial slurs. Y'all, she's been released before her trial date with an ankle monitor, and she is facing 5 years in prison. Yeah, we need this in the USA. We need these strict laws, yeah.
This video is for all my Black Americans fellows. Do you guys know that in Brazil, people don't play about racism? Do you know that Brazil is has the largest Black population in South America? Did you know that being racist in Brazil is considered a crime and that you can actually go to jail for it? Exactly. That's how it should be everywhere. Everywhere. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments.
I was today years old when I learned that it is illegal to be racist in Brazil. Like this woman right here, she's Argentinian and she went to Brazil and basically started making monkey noises at the restaurant staff, and they reported her, and now she's looking at up to 5 years in prison. I bet she thought shit was sweet. Shit was just so funny. She was sitting there making the monkey noises. Then she walked away like everything was fine. They revoked her passport and gave her an ankle monitor.
Agostina Páez, acusada de injuria racial en Brasil, en este momento recibió la notificación que hay una orden de prisión preventiva para mí por peligro de fuga, siendo que tengo una tobillera electrónica puesta y que estoy a disposición de la justicia desde el día 1. Se están vulnerando todos mis derechos. Estoy desesperada, estoy muerta de miedo y hago este video para que se haga eco de la situación que estoy pasando.
The illegality of racism in Brazil does not stop it. But I think what I'm especially learning, it does not stop classism, especially. As a Black woman, I have the privilege of here in Brazil looking like the majority, a person of color. But one thing I'm finding out about y'all Brazilians is that you may not discriminate against me for being Black, but y'all niggas definitely discriminate on the basis of wealth. See, I go out and I wear Havaianas wherever I'm going because, I'm in Brazil and it's hot outside. It's amazing to wear flip-flops. Like, this isn't even a fashion style where I'm from. Like, maybe you'll wear flip-flops in the house, but it's not like something that you go out and do if you're not at the beach or something. And until I open up my mouth, I'm sure a lot of people think that I am a regular-looking Brazilian person. And the way that y'all treat me before I open my mouth and after is actually pretty sad sometimes. And look, I do not speak perfect Portuguese. If I'm not paying attention to you while you're talking, I'm not listening to you. But I've come to realize y'all be talking cold cash shit sometimes. But ain't no love lost. But
Did y'all know that racism was a crime in Brazil? Like a serious crime, like you might get up to 5 years in prison? Baby, what Miss Daffy say? I'm on the way there. Baby, send me to Brazil, okay? Now, I don't normally talk about crimes in other countries and other stuff like that because it'd be a lot. We already have enough going on here. But this piqued my interest, so I had to bring it to you. Agostina Paes, I think that's how you say her name. If it's wrong, please forgive me. She was in Brazil on vacation. Now, she is from Argentina, but she was in Brazil, and she was in Brazil on January the 14th. Now, okay, she was at a restaurant, and there was a dispute with the bill. Instead of just having them fix the bill and then going about her merry way, when she let them know about the dispute about the bill, they said that she made some racist remarks like calling people monkeys, monkey sounds, things of that sort. She made them feel very uncomfortable, and it was very obvious to them that it was racism, okay? It was to them. It was very obvious. So, them being of Brazil, they knew that, ma'am, that's a crime. So, they called the police and let the police know, and the police come. Now, under normal circumstances in Brazil, they don't give you no bond, and you got to wait until they make a decision on if you're guilty or not guilty, and then the punishment for the crime is up to 5 years in prison for racism because they have a zero tolerance policy, okay? Again, I'm on the way there. A zero tolerance policy. Her attorney did a habeas corpus, and they let her out on an ankle monitor, and they was going to let her wait until trial. Again, that's not normal, but the attorney that she got a good legal team, and she's an attorney herself, I do believe. But her attorney was doing some attorneying, okay? And we know how I love to see an attorney, honey. And they had got her out, but they decided to reverse that on Thursday. So they didn't put her back in and said, you're going to have to wait. You're going to have to wait. It has caused a complete ruckus in Brazil and in Argentina because people in Brazil is like, you need to know the law of the land when you in the land, okay? You need to know what's going down here in Brazil when you come to Brazil. And people in Argentina are like, but y'all got to know we don't do that where we at. And I agree with them. Whatever the law of the land is, you need to know that law when you get to their doggone land. Okay. But, yeah, she's facing up to 5 years in prison. When all she had to do was just say, fix my doggone bill. They fix it, and she going about her merry way. But instead of that, she decided to take below the belt, and they said, we know where hell is, and made that phone call to the authorities. But yeah, I might be on the way to Brazil. Somebody buy me a plane ticket so I can go see what they got going on. I likes that. Zero tolerance.
Brazil does not play about racism. I'm just seeing this story about Agostina Paes, a woman from Argentina. She went to Brazil, and she's on vacation in Brazil. She had a dispute over a food bill, right? And so she started making monkey gestures and racial slurs to the employees. They reported her. And guess what? She could face 5 years in a Brazilian prison. Baby, I learn something new every day. I learned so I was like, wow. Baby, they don't play over there. Go over there trying to be funny, trying to be racist over there in Brazil. See what's gonna happen to you. Say something slick to somebody. And this lady was filmed doing like a monkey gesture. You know what I mean? You have to see it. But baby, I know I'm late, but baby, I'm still getting the information.
Rio de Janeiro has a racism problem, a classism problem. My entire page is about going to visit and being Brazilian, and I wouldn't be 100% honest if I wasn't honest about the issues that real people face over there. To be honest, I don't know how to talk about it because it's a sensitive topic, and a lot of people will die on a hill saying that it doesn't exist, but it really does. And the kind of racism that happens over there, it's not blatant racism. It's very subtle. It's stares, it's lack of equal treatment, it's maybe somebody not offering service because of how you look like, and it's a problem. I've seen people mistreating my mom, who's a dark-skinned woman, and it's like subtle. So, for example, when we go to Brazil, we always stay at the nicest hotels, not because we're rich or anything, it's just a lot more affordable over there. And there was one time where we knew where our room was, we knew where we were going, so we went from the lobby straight to the elevators. And one of the workers almost chased us down and asked, hey, can I help you? As if we didn't belong. Another instance was when I was out with her at a really nice high-end bar, a high-end club, and no one interacted with us. And it's the entire it's the opposite of that warm Brazilian hospitality that everyone talks about, and I honestly think it's because of the color of her skin. I don't experience it as much because I'm like a little lighter, and colorism in Rio de Janeiro is thriving, which is sad. My brother has been also chased down in stores, and it's unexplainable, and I don't get it, and I wish it didn't exist. But I'm not trying to discourage anyone from visiting. If you look at my page, I want everyone to go visit Rio de Janeiro. My point is, you should go, which is hard to say. Because the truth is, they don't treat tourists in the same way, and it's really sad to say that they treat their own people like that. But if they know that you're a tourist, if you make it obvious that you're a tourist, they're going to treat you like a king. And that is just the truth.
To all the black gringos that comes to Brazil, I was wondering how racism is back home with you guys, because I'm Brazilian and I'm black, and Brazil is racist as fuck. Oh, it isn't. Oh, Brazil is not that racist. It is, because I'm black and I live here. I was born here, raised here, and it is racist as fuck. For you guys to come here and say that, oh, this place is amazing for black people, and I was wondering how racist your place back home must be, because I was like, if it's worse than here, man, I don't want to go there.
Brazil is an extremely racist country. What you're describing is black Americans coming to Brazil and benefiting from being American. So when we are abroad, we benefit from having an American accent, American passport, and the American dollar. So our view of what actual racism is in a country like Brazil, while we can see it exists, it's very skewed, because we will never be treated like a black Brazilian in Brazil because of where we're staying, what we're spending money on, and they want our money. Racism is horrible in America, but I think it's a thing where you understand the social cues, the language, and the cultural things that would tell you what racism is, or what a macro or microaggression is. In Brazil, when I lived there for 6 months. I was in Rio de Janeiro, Sao Paulo, Belém, and Manaus. But my time in Rio de Janeiro was the most interesting one, because that was the whitest place I lived, where it had white people, mixed people, and black people. And I stayed in a place called Leblon, which was very white, more of an upper middle class neighborhood. And I got looks every day leaving the apartment I was in. I was doing a study abroad, so I had school. But I befriended this girl, and I told her, hey, I want to go to where you hang out. I want to go to where you and your friends go. I also didn't want to be the American to go toward the favelas. That's not what I was doing. But I went to where they partied, and I had so much fun, and I felt so much more at home with black Brazilians. And we had a conversation around where I was living, and they were like, yeah, we don't go there. Why would I ever go there? And it made me realize I was living in the equivalent of the Upper East Side in New York City, and I would never live in the Upper East Side of New York City. I think America and Brazil have a unique experience, because two countries that have so many black people, but they are the black people that stayed in the country of their oppressor in a way where we're the minorities in both countries, and the majority of those countries are white. I think what you're describing is something that Brazilians experience here, because if you're Brazilian with a Brazilian accent and you're exotic in America, even though you'll still be black, right? The same way I was still black in Brazil, and they didn't know I wasn't Brazilian until I opened my mouth and I spoke English. Racism sucks. I mean, racism exists around the world, and we all know this as black people. But I think Americans sometimes don't realize that we benefit from being American abroad, especially in other black places in the Caribbean and Latin America.
So when something like this happens publicly, especially in a business setting, it's taken very seriously. The situation raises bigger question. Do people underestimate racism law abroad? Does some think consequences only exist online? Or is this simply accountability in action? You know what's interesting? The first time I started paying attention to Brazil, I never realized how serious they treat racism under law. I have heard Brazilians speak about racial issue. I have seen discussion, debates, even public figures addressing discrimination, but I didn't fully understand that in Brazil, racism isn't just condemned socially, it's criminal. And that's the part some people miss. For a long time, comparing black people to monkeys or ape has been one of the oldest, most degrading racist insults in the history. It's not new, it's not accidental. It has been used globally to dehumanize black Americans. So when someone decides to make monkey gestures or noises towards a black person, that's not a joke. That's not losing your temper. That's a historical loaded act. And in Brazil, that line is very clear. Now, this Argentina tourist, Augustina Perez, may have thought she was just reacting in the moment. She may have thought it was just an argument at the restaurant. But in Brazil, that kind of behavior carries legal consequences. And here is the deeper part of this conversation. For many black people around the world, being compared to an animal has been a painful and repeated experience, a stereotype rooted in history. So when laws step in and say, we don't tolerate here, it sends a message. This isn't about revenge. This isn't about bullying. This is about accountability. Now, whether you think she's being made an example of, or whether you believe this is justice in action, one thing is clear. When you travel, you respect the law of the country you are in, period. Let me know your thoughts in the comments respectfully. And remember, we are here for conversation and education, not hate. See you in my next video.